everyone. We hope you're enjoying the second day of Build as much as we are. My name is Gladys Kemfak, and I'm a Principal Product Manager here at Microsoft. Today, we're going to show you how you can reach hundreds of millions of users and grow your business with Teams. Obviously, the pandemic has changed the way we work. Our hybrid world needs hyper-connected applications to meet business needs. For all of us, Microsoft Teams became the centerpiece of our day-to-day collaboration. Teams has reached 270 million monthly active users and continues to grow. I invite you to learn how you can tap into the huge potential and reach of Teams to transform your next generation of collaborative applications to accomplish more together. The collaborative apps you build meet users in their flow of work, whether you're building an app on Teams or in your application. Yesterday's breakout titled Building Collaborative Apps with Teams and Microsoft 365 dove deep on the first pattern, extending your app with Teams. In this session, you will learn how you can bring collaboration and rich user experiences to your app with Azure Communication Services and Microsoft Graph APIs. We'll also cover how you can reach millions of customers easily, learn ways to build applications with enterprise-level security, and launch and monetize with Teams. We have your back every step on the way. Let us dive in, shall we? I'm happy to introduce Juan Jose Sanchez, a Senior Program Manager joining from Costa Rica, to share more about how you can easily and rapidly reach more customers with Teams and Azure Communication Services. Welcome, Juan Jose.
Thank you, Gladys. Hello, everyone. I'm Juan Jose Sanchez, and I'm a Senior Program Manager for Azure Communication Services. And I'm excited to show you how you can bring rich communication experiences to all your applications across any device on any platform, using the same reliable and secure infrastructure that powers Microsoft Teams. With Azure Communication Services, you can easily bring voice, video, chat, email, and more communication capabilities into your apps, so you can build amazing experiences for your customers. The only limit is your imagination. You can simplify your application and use a familiar user experience by connecting your app users with Microsoft Teams. Combining a custom application experience for external users and using Microsoft Teams for internal users is especially common for virtual visits. Virtual visits are a class of communication scenarios we're helping organizations like Teladoc deliver. Let me show you how Teladoc has developed a custom experience in the healthcare arena. And hey, I must say, I love not having to visit the doctor's office in person. I can do it from anywhere. In this scenario, Teladoc created a custom experience for care providers directly inside Teams. Here, for example, physicians can schedule a follow-up consultation with a patient and send an invite to join a virtual visit. Patient receive an email or an SMS notification with details about the consultation and check in directly from the Teladoc custom app. Once completed, physicians can review the patient's information form and proceed with the consultation directly from the Teams client and the patients from the Teladoc portal. That way, physician and patient work from the apps they already know. As you just saw, the interoperability between Microsoft Teams and Azure Communication Services provides a seamless communication experience. Employees and internal users enjoy their familiar team experience, while external users or patients enjoy a customized application. And you can build these types of experiences with Azure Communication Services APIs and SDKs, Microsoft Graph, and Azure. And the most exciting part is that starting today, you can build a similar virtual visit experience in just a few minutes. To make it easier for you to quickly create an app, we have added a sample builder in the Azure portal. This sample builder will help you build and deploy a variety of demo solutions. But our first template is for virtual visits. With this tool, you can easily configure and deploy a virtual visit web app that enables your customers to book a virtual appointment and join the consultation directly to the application. Meanwhile, the staff joins the appointment through the familiarity of the Teams client they love and use every day. Let's take a look. Here, I have a deployed version of our solution. It enables me to book an appointment and join the appointment call, all directly through this custom application. To get started, as a patient, or in this case, as the parent of the patient, I will book the appointment. I will select Dr. Mansour, my kid's lover, and then I will select a date and time. Finally, some required additional information. Now that my visit has been scheduled, let's connect with the clinic. Notice that Dr. Mansour can go to her calendar on Teams and join it through her Teams client. Also notice that as a patient, when I click on my appointment, it will launch my virtual visit through this custom web application. Now your staff and customers can interact together without leaving their own applications. Let's now explore how this all works behind the scenes. Solutions leverage Microsoft Bookings for easy scheduling capabilities on top of Microsoft Graph. It also leverages Azure Communication Services UI library to provide a turnkey communication experience that is fully customizable, localizable, and responsive. The solution can be configured using the Azure Communication Services sample builder right on the Azure portal. There, without having to write any code, you can easily add your own theme and logos, configure capabilities like chat, and add your instance of Microsoft Bookings. Let's take a look. Here, I can configure the features of the virtual visit. I can enable or disable chat capabilities. I also can control who can screen share. The display on the right will show me the classic phases of a virtual visit: call start, lobby, call, and chat. And with this component, I can see how the changes will look like in real time. To add your instance of Microsoft Bookings, go to your calendar, and then to the booking page section. Copy your booking page link and paste it into the sample builder. Next, let's configure our theme. Here, I'm going to type the company name. Let's now change the theme color. Let's choose green. Look great, doesn't it? And now let's add some messaging for our lobby experience. Once you have configured your application, you have several options. You can download a zip file, you can clone it to GitHub, or you can deploy it directly to your Azure subscription and have your application running in just a couple of minutes. The solution for virtual visits presented here is fully open source and can be accessed on GitHub. Developers can modify it to provide their own booking system or build one with Microsoft Graph, and further configure the call and chat experiences using the UI library and Azure Communication Services. Go check it out. Look for our on-demand session, where we'll be going deeper into building other scenarios that leverage Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Graph, and Azure Communication Services, like event management platforms. I can't wait to see what exciting new apps you can build next. Now, over to Nick, who will talk about Microsoft Graph APIs for Teams. Welcome, Nick.
Thanks, JJ. Hi, everyone. I'm Nick Kramer, Principal Product Manager in Teams Graph here at Microsoft. I'm excited to show you how to enable your users to collaborate seamlessly without having to constantly swivel between multiple tools. JJ showed you how to embed an ACS-powered custom video client for virtual visits into your app, which was really neat. What I'm going to show you is how to embed a Teams chat into your app using Microsoft Graph APIs. To show you what I mean, consider this. Teams is a great collaboration tool, and Jira is a great work management and issue tracking tool. But how do you collaborate with your coworkers on Jira? You could switch over to Teams, start a new chat, and cut and paste the details from Jira. And then you switch back to Jira while you wait for a reply, and then you switch back to Teams for the answer, and then you learn you didn't cut and paste enough information for your coworker to give a meaningful answer, and then you repeat the whole process. Frustrating. Or you can bring your Teams chats and channel messages into your app using Microsoft Graph APIs. Let's see what this looks like with Yasun's Smart Connect for Jira Teams app, which allows you to embed Teams chats and meetings into your Jira issues. Here we have a typical IT support case. Pradeep has a ticket from Miriam that her laptop is crashing, but he needs more information from her before he can help. He creates a new Teams chat by using Yasun and Jira to ask Miriam for further details. When he does that, Miriam gets a message in Teams that not only has his question, but also the context from Jira, the issue title, the ticket number, and a link back to the full details in Jira. Miriam answers without leaving Teams, and Pradeep gets the reply without leaving Jira. And if the same issue is reactivated next week when he's on vacation, the new agent can find that conversation and be instantly up to speed. So, how do we get there? Microsoft Graph has a rich suite of APIs that lets you read and send messages from your own app to other Teams users, and we've been enhancing them to let your users collaborate seamlessly from your app. Let's walk through the key APIs for creating these experiences, and I'll call out what's new. First, we create a chat thread. There's also APIs for creating channels if that's how you like to roll. When we create a chat, we can specify whether it's a one-on-one chat or a group chat, and we specify the members of that chat. We've also recently added the ability to create chats with federated users, users outside of your tenant. Next, there's the API to send a message in the chat thread we just created. You can send a plain text message, but you can also send rich messages, rich text, emojis, reactions, images, file attachments, add mentions. If you can send it in Teams, you can send it through the Microsoft Graph APIs. Graph even goes one better by letting you send actionable cards as well, with forms and buttons like we saw in our Usoon demo. There's also the ability to @mention users by their tag, such as @mentioning the doctors or nurses in a hospital. Our third key API is to get a list of chats. We added the ability to get the last message preview for each chat, and we've also added the ability to get the viewport, that is, which messages are read and which messages are unread by the current user. Our fourth API is getting the messages from an existing chat thread or channel. We call this when the chat window is first opened to catch up on what's been said. Now you can get these messages in the order you'd see them in Teams client. Previously, you could only get them sorted by last modified time, which works for bulk messaging scenarios like compliance archiving, but isn't what you need for these interactive messaging scenarios. Finally, we subscribe to change notifications, which lets us hear about new messages without having to poll. When we create the subscription, we specify the chat thread we want to hear about and provide a callback URL. When a new message comes in, our callback URL is invoked with the details of the new message. You now have ways to subscribe to all of a user's chats and to subscribe to membership changes. We've also added rich notifications for delegated permissions, so that when you're notified of a new message, you actually get the message, and not just a hint that the message exists. So, using those 5 APIs, create chat, send messages, list chats, get messages, create subscription, we've brought the structure to our chats and enabled our users to collaborate without constantly switching apps. Let's turn now to how we can bring structured conversations to a meeting without having to juggle multiple app windows. Here I have the Contoso sales report, which I want to share with my team. Traditionally, I'd need to juggle between that report window and the meetings window, most commonly by sharing my screen, maximizing the sales report so everyone else can get a good view, and effectively losing my access to the meeting window while I'm sharing. Our new Share in Meeting feature provides a better way. When I click Share in Meeting, it displays that content in the meeting stage for everyone to see, including me. And it's not just a fancy screen sharing app, we're sharing the full app. It's individually rendered for each user according to their screen size. It's even interactive. Each user can highlight the parts of the report they're interested in and zoom the map to look at the details they want to look at. There's only 2 things you need to do to support Share in Meetings. First, you need a Teams app that contains a tab that can be hosted on the meeting stage. A tab is a way to bring arbitrary HTML into Teams. You declare them in your Teams app manifest by giving the URL of that arbitrary HTML and providing some information on where that tab can go. This one goes in a group chat because meetings have group chats, and this tab supports being on the meeting stage. Second step, we need a Share in Meeting button in your application that navigates to this magic hyperlink. Again, the tab is arbitrary HTML, so any way you want to build that button is fine. Just provide a deep link ID that means something to your app, the app ID of your application, the URL of the tab you want to render, and the entity name and description to display in the confirmation dialog. And that's all you need to do to create a Share in Meeting button that brings structure and context to your meetings. Let's recap what we saw. First, we saw how Azure Communication Services can power your virtual visits and virtual events with the same technology that powers Teams. Then we used Teams APIs in Microsoft Graph to structure our conversations so users don't need to switch tools to get work done. First, by bringing Teams chats into your app, and then by bringing your app into the Teams meeting. We have 2 great on-demand sessions going deeper into these topics, so check them out. Now that we've created a compelling app that allows seamless collaboration with minimal context switching, allowing you to stay in the flow of work with Microsoft Teams, I'll turn things back over to Gladys and the team to show you how to make your app even more trustworthy for enterprise customers.
Thank you so much, Nick. As a developer, it's critical that you continue to enhance the security posture of your application to grow adoption within the enterprise. With the ever-changing landscape of security and compliance risk and growing threats, Microsoft is committed to investing in solutions that make it easier for developers to build secure and compliant applications. To help me showcase 3 capabilities that will make your apps much more resilient against data loss, as well as help mitigate compliance risks, I'm going to ask Jackson Woods, a product manager on the Microsoft Identity platform, to join us.
Thanks, Gladys. It's great to be here.
So, Jackson, we've heard from many enterprise customers that they're inclined to block highly privileged applications due to the increased risk of data loss. How can developers configure their Teams apps to only access the data they need?
That's right, Gladys. So let me tell you about Resource-Specific Consent, or RSC. This is a new set of features available in Teams that lets developers scope the permissions of their apps to individual teams or group chats. This means that the app can only access data in the teams or chats where it's been given approval, rather than needing permission to access data across the entire tenant. All of our RSC permissions are called out in our Microsoft Graph reference docs and shown right alongside the standard permissions for each individual API. You'll also notice that they end with the Teams resource they're scoped to, like .group for Teams or .chat for group chats. Let me show you how to enable RSC in your Teams app. So let's configure an app to use RSC. Here, we've got a simple Teams app that needs to show a tab so it can display some interesting chat analytics about our team. For example, it could identify experts based on the topics they discuss in chat channels. To do that, we want to allow the app to read channel messages and manage the Teams tabs. Enabling resource-specific consent is easy. We'll just need to replace the standard permissions to do these things anywhere with the resource-specific permissions that apply only in the specific teams where the app is installed. As the developer who owns this application, I just need to add the RSC permissions to the app manifest, like so. In this case, I'll add channelmessage.read.group and teamstab.readWrite.group to allow our app to read users' messages and then set up and manage tabs. Then I need to be sure to remove any unneeded standard permissions from the matching app registration in the Azure portal. Otherwise, users and admins could be asked to consent to those permissions, even though I've reconfigured my app to use RSC. Now that I've removed any unnecessary standard permissions, I can simply keep passing the .default scope parameter when requesting a token. And that's it. The app is fully enabled for RSC. Customers who add it to Teams will see the permissions correctly listed, referencing this team. As a developer, configuring your app for resource-specific consent means that a separate RSC policy governs whether end users can consent to your application in customer organizations. For enterprise admins, this makes app approval easier and reduces overall user friction, since they don't have to enable global consent to let users approve apps and teams that those users own. And we're not just asking you to use RSC, we've actually created a new app pre-approval workflow that makes it easier for IT admins to approve RSC apps. I'm pleased to share that in the next few months, we'll be bringing this new granular app pre-approval feature to Teams and Azure AD. This will let IT admins in your own organization, or admins for your external customers, pre-approve your app to be installed and consented by their users based on the permissions you request and the sensitivity of their data. By using resource-specific consent wherever possible, your app will be easier to manage and approve. We're excited to see you start using this key new capability as we continue to expand our support for RSC. Gladys, permissions are only one of the 3 development layers that secure apps use to prevent data loss. What's the next one?
Thanks, Jackson. That was a cool and swift way for developers to build least privileged applications. To answer your question around how to make apps more trustworthy, we need to acknowledge that customers must meet regulatory requirements when deploying applications in their environment. As such, we currently have an established Microsoft 365 App Compliance Program. This program evaluates both the app and the app publisher against a series of well-known security, privacy, and data handling standards such as SOC 2, PCI DSS, and ISO 27001. We are continually evolving this program to keep up with the changes to the security and compliance landscape so you can stay current. When you get your app Microsoft 365 certified, your customer will have the confidence in deploying it in their tenant. So, a couple of perks of the program includes a trust signal indicating to IT and security admins that your app meets some of the regulatory requirements that Microsoft assesses against. Additionally, we are making an investment in streamlining the certification process. And finally, it helps remove roadblocks in the vetting and adoption process of the application in the enterprise. Recently, we were pleased to work with one of our partners, Adobe, on their certification journey for their newly certified Teams app. Let's hear from the Adobe team.
Hi, I'm David Elliott with Adobe. I work on the Adobe Acrobat Sign ecosystems team. That means I get to work with many of our key partners to implement Adobe Sign capabilities into their tools and workflows. Microsoft is a key partner of Adobe, and we've worked really closely with them to implement the deepest integrations and the richest experiences for e-signatures available in their ecosystem. As you would expect from Adobe, we take data privacy, security, and compliance very seriously. This is especially true for Adobe Acrobat Sign, as we power and protect our clients' most important documents, their agreements. As Microsoft's preferred e-signature provider, we thought it imperative to participate in the M365 certification program. As we recently relaunched our Adobe Acrobat Sign for Microsoft Teams add-in in Microsoft App Source, we thought it important, if not imperative, to launch with the certification badge. This is because we wanted our clients, as well as potential future clients, to know at a glance when discovering our add-ins in Microsoft that it was built to the highest security standards and pre-vetted by Microsoft. The certification process is very comprehensive, but the Microsoft team was very responsive, supportive, and thorough throughout the entire process. As Microsoft's preferred e-signature provider, Adobe Acrobat Sign is proud to participate in the M365 certification program. Thank you.
In addition to RSC, you can also get your application certified to make it more secure and trustworthy. What do you think, Jackson?
Well, that sounds great, but am I going to need to become a security and compliance expert? How can I keep up with regulations and grow trust with my enterprise customers to make sure they'll be able to adopt my new app?
Well, Jackson, as I promised at the opening of our talk, Microsoft has your back. We are pleased to announce a new developer tool to help you accelerate and simplify the process of evidence collection and control validation for applications built on Azure. The App Compliance Automation tool for Microsoft 365 enables you to accelerate your application's adoption in the enterprise and achieve the regulatory and industry-specific compliance certifications. In 3 easy steps, you can get full visibility of your Microsoft 365 application's compliance status. First, you create a report, then you identify resources and define the application boundary. And finally, you can view your compliance report. You can even drill down into failed controls to access remediation recommendations. Let me go into a concrete example. If the enterprise requires encryption to further ensure the protection of the data in order to deploy the app Jackson built earlier, a developer or an ISV can define these boundaries using the App Compliance Automation tool for Microsoft 365. The tool can then automatically detect whether this application is encrypting data at rest and confirm whether the appropriate encryption algorithm has been applied. All that in just a few clicks. This tool is being integrated in the Microsoft 365 certification workflow to enable you to access your application's compliance report and submit it as evidence to get certified. The App Compliance Automation tool for Microsoft 365 is now available in preview for applications built on Azure. You can visit the link on screen to sign up for the preview program.
Wow, that sounds so helpful. I'd love to sign up for the preview, but is there a catch? How much is it going to cost to get my app certified?
I saved the best for last, Jackson. Microsoft will cover the cost of getting your application Microsoft 365 certified.
Wow, that's awesome. What's the process and next steps?
Here, you can see all the steps in getting your application certified. Our goal is to certify your apps in under 60 days, from initial preparation to awarding your Microsoft 365 certified badge, which will also be displayed in marketplaces such as AppSource and TeamStore to showcase your applications with enterprise customers. You can join the growing list of Microsoft 365 certified partners today. To learn more about how to build trustworthy apps for the enterprise, please join our on-demand session. With that, we've talked through 3 ways to further secure your cool app. Here's what you can do. 1, you can leverage resource-specific consent to limit data access in your app. Thanks, Jackson, for the great demo. 2, you can complete the Microsoft 365 certification to improve the security and compliance posture of your application. And 3, join the App Compliance Automation tool for Microsoft 365 Preview to save time and make it easier to become compliant. We also know that app discoverability and monetization play a defining role in the success of your application. So let's welcome Manav Trivedi, who is going to explain new features to help you drive business growth. Take it away, Manav.
Thank you, Gladys and Jackson. Hi, folks. My name is Manav Trivedi, and I'm a product manager on Teams platform. I'm so excited to show all the developers here at Build the work that we've done to the new Teams store. It's now cleaner, faster, and better organized with intelligent and curated experiences to make it easier than ever to get your apps in the hand of customers. Let's take a closer look. The user experience of the store has been refreshed with updated visuals and categories. The categories and industries in the store now align with the developer's publishing experience. The app tiles now provide richer information to users interested in your apps, and users can get a glimpse into categories, certification information, and more directly from the tiles. Moving on to our intelligent features. We introduced a new machine learning model that learns about the usage patterns across a user's tenant and recommends apps based on their specific needs. We're also launching a list of trending apps on the store, so users can learn what's hot on Teams that week. We're excited to have you try out the updated store on Teams, and we're delighted to share that this experience will also be broadly available across M365, starting with Office and Outlook. You're sure to learn more about it in other sessions throughout the conference. In addition to the discovery capabilities that are new to the store, we also improved the app discovery experience outside the store. We improved contextual store experiences for users discovering new tabs, message extensions, and bots within their flow by showing a filtered set of apps that support their context. For example, when a user is composing a message and discovers new messaging extensions, they'll see a more human, task-oriented set of categories so they can quickly decide what to choose. In addition to an updated Teams experience on desktop, we've got a few more updates for Teams apps on mobile. Today, millions of users experience Teams exclusively on their mobile endpoint. I'm happy to announce these users can now discover and add your apps directly from their mobile devices. Users can easily find and use relevant apps wherever they are on Teams mobile, and even add apps directly from a link or QR code outside Teams. We're just getting started with introducing the app discovery experience on mobile. Going forward, your apps will be meticulously organized to make the process of finding the right app easy for our users. We're proud of the improvements we're bringing to the app discovery and management experience on desktop and mobile to help improve the business and growth of your apps. And I know monetization also plays a key role for you. So I'll hand it over to Chandrika to tell you more.
Thank you, Manav. That is very cool to see. Hey everyone, I'm Chandrika, and I'm a Principal Product Manager here at Microsoft. All right, let's talk next about how you can grow your business by monetizing your apps on Teams. It was here at Build last year that we announced that we were enabling the discovery and purchase of Teams app from within the App Store as well as the Admin Center. Over the last year, we have seen some fantastic examples of developers integrating monetization into their apps, whether encouraging users to take micro breaks through the day or helping law firms manage their trial dates. Paid apps in Teams are making a difference for all of our users. And just last month, we added a category to the Teams App Store, Best Selling, to highlight monetized apps that resonate with users for better discovery. The team here has been hard at work to help you create, monetize, and manage your paid apps better. Today, I'm excited to share with you two of those features. The first is in-app purchasing, and the second is license management in Teams. Let's start with in-app purchasing. When we first added monetization support last October, the only way for customers to purchase monetized apps in Teams was via the Teams Store or the Teams admin portal, as you see here. Well, we spoke with developers and realized that while this model worked really well for publishers of paid-only apps, it wasn't ideal for freemium app developers. Developers want to upsell their users to paid offerings only after users have experienced the app, and they don't want users to leave the app to do it. I'm excited to share that in-app purchase support is now generally available. You, our developers, have control of when and how to upsell your users from free to paid subscriptions right within your Teams app. While some others wanted to trigger purchase experiences only at specific times, such as paywalls, or after a predefined trial period that the developer was tracking, we've made in-app purchase flexible enough for developers to enable these scenarios. From a customer standpoint, the in-app purchase experience is the same one they already know from the Teams Store. And they can also use the payment instrument from earlier purchases to reduce friction. Once a user completes the purchase, they configure licenses the same way they do today, and they are then returned right back into your app. Lastly, we worked to make it lightweight for you to enable in-app purchasing inside your monetized app. It requires a few lines of code to be added to your manifest to enable the appropriate permissions, as shown here, and a few more lines of code to call the Open Purchase Experience API we've now made available. Again, you can choose when to call it. You can learn more by visiting the aka.ms link shown here. Now, let's shift gears and talk about how users that purchase subscriptions can manage and assign licenses. As a previous rule, it has been up to you, the developer, to develop the license management component into your solution, whether on your landing page or directly within your application. We've heard your feedback on this approach. To help streamline the experience and expedite the process for you, we will soon offer the ability for you to offload the license management capabilities to us, where users can manage and assign licenses directly in Teams. Let's look at this in action. Let's start with a Teams customer who has purchased a subscription to your app. In the Teams Store, this user will be able to navigate to manage your apps and tab over to subscriptions to view their list of purchases. Here, clicking on a subscription allows this user to see all of the detail associated with the purchase. And by the way, what you're seeing here is a sneak preview of another feature coming this summer. we're enabling customers to natively manage their subscriptions, including upgrades, downgrades, and cancellations right within Teams. Moving on, this customer who purchased licenses to your app is able to manage these licenses by clicking the Assign Licenses button on the screen. The user is then taken to the license management page. Here, the user can easily view the purchase information of the subscription and the license allotments. Clicking on Assign Licenses here renders a modal dialog for the user to select users. The user can search by typing the name in the search box, and they can click to select the user. This can be done for a single user or for multiple users at a single time. Once the Assign button is clicked, the licenses are assigned to these selected users. And look at this! Licenses can be assigned to a team with a single click. A customer can search for a team by typing the team name in the search box. They can choose to add either all users or specific users to assign licenses to, all with a single action. The user can also manage licenses by unassigning them from users who don't need them and reassign them as needed. And most importantly, we are making it lightweight for you, our developers, to enable this feature if you choose Microsoft to manage licenses for your apps and users. When setting up a new transactable offer in Partner Center, you can soon define how your license management will be managed, either directly from you or by Microsoft. You would also integrate to Microsoft Graph Usage Rights API to determine the user's license permissions when they launch the app. We're excited to share more about license management in Teams and a preview this summer. Look for more updates coming from us soon. Well, these are just a few of the many new features we are actively developing to help you drive for success. And speaking of, I'd like to share a clip from Office at Work, a partner who has found success in monetizing their apps across commercial marketplace. Not only did their customer base grow internationally, but they also saw an increase in revenue and usage. Let's watch.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. My name is Martin Seifert. I'm the CEO of Office at Work, and we have a product called Template Chooser, which helps any Microsoft 365 customer to better make their own Office templates available across all applications within the Microsoft 365 platform. So I'd like to break it down into two parts if we talk about the investment here. One is the technical investment. What do you need to do to actually get into the marketplace? The other one is, what does it cost you? What's the return when you go into the marketplace? Actually, when you do turnover, you get 97% of the turnover is then paid out. So there's a 3% cut. We went from 3% international business to over a third international business. That's the amazing thing. So any ISV out there that's ready to have or thinking about transacting with an offer, this is a no-brainer. There's hardly any investment. There's big opportunity. Comes at a great financial package, and it just opens up the market for you without having to invest in sales in all these countries. The secret is to do it, not to think this is complicated and you need to wait for something. Just do it. It's an astonishing offering. Get your app in there, make it transactable, make it visible in the markets, and just start transacting. There's really nothing that should stop you. And for us, it's a no-brainer. You really need to be in that marketplace if you're on the platform.
It is so great to see that our monetization capabilities have enabled Office at Work to thrive in our marketplaces. Next, it's your turn. To get started with Teams app monetization, please visit the aka.ms link on the screen, where you'll find resources to walk you through the 5 steps needed to monetize your app. Back to you, Gladys.
Thanks, Chandrika. Well, that's everything we're sharing today to help you reach millions of users. Here's a quick recap. Microsoft Teams has everything you need to build secure and compliant collaborative apps. And we are making it easier for you to reach the right users and monetize your apps. We look forward to seeing you in the App Store soon. Be sure to check out all our sessions at the link below. Thank you all for joining and enjoy the rest of Build. Happy coding!